Hey guys, good evening. It is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. Welcome to IFYL Inspiration for Your Life. I'm so happy you decided to join me. It is, ladies and gentlemen, February 6th. In case you guys didn't know what that is, well, ladies and gentlemen, that is a Tuesday night. And whether you're here, like I said, 11:10 p.m., 11:10 a.m., 3 a.m., 3 p.m., 1 a.m., 1 p.m., potato, whenever you're here, I'm really grateful that you decided to be here with me for another great show. For those of you who do not know who I am, well, I'm going to tell you who I am because I'm sure you guys want to know who I actually am. So, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who do not know me by now, I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, and I am a podcast host and a podcast coach. And I'm a specialist in helping businesses tell a story that leads to them growing and being more scalable and, of course, more profitable. I typically do work with companies that bring in 10 million or more. They know their story, or they want me to find out their story for them, but they know it from the understanding that it's going to be truth. That's probably the most important thing. They know the story is going to be about truth. It's not going to be some facade. And I just want to say something real quick about that. So I had not a client. I had somebody actually come to me. They came to a networking meeting that I hosted for a charity that I'm president of. And they asked me to come out and give them some tips. And they were a little arrogant. And the strange thing happened after my meeting, because I had another podcast that show as a guest on somebody's show. They took my 20 ideas. They took 17 out of my 20 ideas and implemented them like that. They didn't pay me one dime. So that means you really got to be careful who you trust. And so what I've been learning this year, learned a lot of hard lessons, but in 2024, I've been learning that I got to be careful who I let into this heart, who I trust. Just when you think somebody's good or they're doing something right for you, doesn't always mean that they're doing the right thing or that they're not trying to beat you out of something. So I just want to share that with you guys. So our master topic is how to help others. We're on series 3, which means we're in the third series, show 6. The actual master topic for the show, like the granular topic, is navigating the power of giving with purpose. Series 3, show 6, episode 4. First thing you got to know when we talk about purpose, giving with purpose, because this is one way to help others, is to give. Know your why. Know your why. What motivates you for wanting to help someone, right? Ask yourself that question. What is your why to wanting to help someone? What is it? And so I think a lot of people just feel it's the right thing to do, but they really don't get deep in themselves. Some people have a desire to serve. Some people say, they want to do this because they believe in others and they feel bad for them. So that comes under the yearn to serve clause, right? But if you don't know why you are going to do something for someone, why do it? So let's talk a little bit about that. So are you doing it to be nice? Are you doing it because you're looking for something in return? Are you doing it for an altruistic reason that you don't really care? You just want to be nice and you just want to pass on good karma, right? Is that why you're doing it? Are you doing it because if you do this thing for them, you know that down the road, you're going to have basically an IOU from them and you're going to wait to cash in on that? I'm just being really upfront with you about how it works. See, a lot of people don't understand that your own happiness is extremely, extremely powerful. It's powerful. If we understand our why, okay, then there's so much we can do. I mean, a lot we can do, not just a little bit, but I mean a lot. So do you ask yourself what your why is? Do you? Or do you just hope that you're doing the right thing? Um, do you do something because you feel like people have helped you and you're trying to pay it back? Is that why you're doing it? Um, are you doing something because you like the feeling you get inside your heart when you help others? Is that the reasons? I don't know. I'm just asking you questions because I want to know what the real reason is. What is that reason? What motivates you to help someone? What's the reason? Why should I do this? Are you providing for family and friends? Are you doing it because you want to be successful? Are you doing it to leave a legacy, to feel love, to have a positive impact on the lives of others for fortune? Or are you doing it because you want to become famous? That's kind of success, but a little bit different. So finding your why is not something you're just going to get one evening after you finish dinner or, after you've had an ice cream cone. You need to sit in your chair and ponder and literally ask yourself why. And just let everything else from your mind just go and allow yourself to just be. If you copy someone else's why, then you're cheating yourself, right? I'm going to give you guys a real honest answer here. So you guys know that I had a center I built in town. And Monday marks a very interesting day for us because we're moving out. Our landlord decided he wanted to triple our rent. And he wasn't the nicest person. They were just really horrible people. But I never realized something, ladies and gentlemen, that we were there in this new place that I built basically 5 years, the end of this February 29th. And I'm not really stressed. But when I started to look back at my life and I started to really understand things as I was just, trying to get out of this place and all this red tape. And I just realized how difficult they're making it. And I said, oh my gosh, I'm just noticing this now. But you know how much this is probably holding me back for years, holding me back to other success? All because I was stuck in someone else's card game or someone else's board game, stuck in someone else's power trip. I didn't choose to be there. But sometimes we show up in someone else's game and we become their pawn for a while. We don't necessarily know why they're doing it or what they're doing to us. But I just knew that when I made the decision to not renew the lease, because he was going to triple it, and then, started to take things down and pack things up, it was emotional. Still is a little bit because we're still not out of there. But we're like 99% packed. It was hard because I sensed something was wrong a while ago, but I couldn't get out. But I figured it was just me. I figured it was just, busy, just a little stressed with things, but I didn't really understand my reason. And the reason I wasn't excelling as much as I wanted to, even though I was growing, I wasn't growing like in leaps and bounds. And it was because I had an evil king and queen that were monopolizing the chessboard. I use their last name. I won't mention it here on video, but I call their name and I call their name Reindeer Games. And I was like, I don't have time for this. And I started to realize how petty things were. So the other day I was parking and getting ready to unload some packing supplies, boxes and whatnot. think it was about a Friday or two ago. And I remember walking out of my production center, and I remember going back out to my car, and I remember 3 or 4 people, neighbors in other businesses right around, pointing their finger at me and saying, "Oh, you got in trouble." I said, "What?" "Look, you got an orange sticker on your car." I took the orange sticker, ladies and gentlemen. I looked at it. So I was illegally parked, and I just took it up to the camera, and I ripped it up. And I said to myself, like, what? I'm in a loading zone. They have stupid rules like you can't be there more than 26 minutes. Obviously, they know you're going to be longer when you're moving out. So I got a phone call, and they said to me, "John, the reason you got a warning isn't because of the time. You had your engine running. Your left tire was half a centimeter, and I kid you not, on the sidewalk, and they thought it was going to cause erosion to the sidewalk. And number 3, I didn't have my hazards on. So engine running, parked on the sidewalk by a centimeter or so. And had my engine running. So I started realizing and piecing this stuff together, ladies and gentlemen, that these people are petty. And sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to get petty people in your world. I'm so sorry, but you're going to get it. So know your why. I know that I'm worth it. I know that the biggest thing I'm celebrating on Monday is that we're getting out of that building. And that this is a chapter in my life I'm closing. And that now I'll be able to accelerate even faster than I was before. Because every time I tried to grow, even doing things, ladies and gentlemen, like videos, I was getting harassed. Like, oh, you can't video out in the hallway. You can't do this. You can't do that. I don't know if I can breathe with my left foot, not on the ground, only my right. I don't know. I'm just making things up. But the only thing these people cared about, ladies and gentlemen, is money. So I'm not saying money's bad, but I'm saying when you take money as a value to disrespect others and it becomes your power engine. See, I think money is great when you can use it for your freedom, when you can use it to help others, but not when you can use it to shame people or when you can use it to hurt or harm others. See, that's wrong. And I remember telling him something very interesting. And I said, one of the worst moments in my life was losing my grandfather when I was only in 3rd or 4th grade on Thanksgiving night. And then also to lung cancer. And then because my grandfather smoked several packs a day, and he quit 6 months before I was born, but it was way too late. The damage was done. So I would never touch or even go anywhere near smoking. I hate smoking anyway. But even though I don't like it in the way it smells, I won't even attempt. I wouldn't even possibly consider it because I know what it did to my grandfathers. My other grandfather died, I think, of some other type of intestinal cancer or something. But I said to the lady, I said, look, I said, those were the worst moments in my life. And I've gotten over them. I miss my grandparents very much. I said, but congratulations. You are now the worst moment in my life. Congratulations. And the person just shut up. Like they didn't know what to say. So know your worth. You're more worthy than other people think you are. Choose your recipients wisely. All right, let me share this one. For years, I would always give to different things, functions. It could be money. It could be gift cards. It could be store credit, gift certificates. It could be product, right? It could also be something you're doing for somebody. Like, maybe you're just doing something nice for someone. Like I've told you, I've had neighbors that took advantage of me. And, when that happens to you once, it's shame on you. Shame on them. Second time, it's shame on you. And third time, well, you just shouldn't even be there the third time. Okay? But when it happened the first time to me, I'm like, okay, maybe this is me. Right? Maybe I'm being too sensitive. It's like they're always up in your junk. Like whatever you're doing, you're not doing anything wrong or illegal. They're always trying to get into your business. And I don't know, I consider that a control thing. In fact, today I was actually measuring the hallway. And when I went to measure the hallway with tape, one of their people came out and said to me, John, I heard noise in the common area, and I just want to let you know you can't do any work in the common area. I said, well, measuring is not doing work in the common area. Using a tape measure is not work. And she just turned around and went in her office. Then today was also the day that I'd scheduled to take the intercoms down. And because they were in the common area, I had to have my hand held. Not literally, but they were watching me. And I took my sweet time doing it. I didn't rush. I put a little music on. And he said to me, oh, you need a little music. I said, yeah. I said, you people are stressing me out like you know what. I said, I cannot wait. I'm counting the hours till I'm out of your building. And I said to him, I'm not going to mention his name. I said to him, look, I said, if I knew what I knew right now, 5-6 years ago, I would have never come into your building. And he said to me, John, I'm very sorry you feel that way. And I said to him, are you really? Or are you just placating me? And I finished everything I was doing. And I think there might have been a couple little tiny white spots, which they vacuum like every 4 hours anyway. He says, well, do you have a vacuum? There's a couple white spots on the floor. These white spots, ladies and gentlemen, I kid you not, they were, I'm going to show you right here what they were. They were less than the size of the tip of this point. Okay, less than the size of the tip of that point. Not much at all. Maybe like 4 or 5 of them. And so got the vacuum out, but I didn't rush. Took my time. And I said to him, I said, your lady came out before. I said, she's harassed. Oh, they're not harassing you. Well, I don't know what you call being up somebody's butt and basically, coming up them every 5 seconds. So I made a wrong choice, ladies and gentlemen, in picking that landlord. So I picked carefully the next time. We're moving to a smaller place just to be able to hang our hat. And then, God willing, we are going to open a bigger facility. And then after that, I want to build a 20,000 square foot facility that I can take 80% of it to rent and 20% for myself. Why do people act like this? There's lots of reasons, and I'm not going to get into all that tonight, but I think the biggest thing I want to share with you is that choose your recipients wisely, whether that is in business, whether that is in charities you help, whether that's outside your family, friends, right? And what I noticed, it was actually, I think it was the ending of last year. There was a gentleman that I think there was something I was working on, and he had at the time covered a bill for me. So I said to him, I'll pay that back. Just give me some time and I'll pay it back. And it wasn't very long. Well, his family started to take advantage. They started using my services, and they never paid any of my bills. So I said, you know what? Enough's enough. I'm going to figure out what they owe me, deduct it, and send them a check for the rest, and let them know that we're done. Now, I didn't do that to be nasty. And when I said done, I meant that, we're all squared away. And if you want anything else, you'll need to pay for it going forward. And I know that kind of annoyed him, but darn it, I'm very sick of people abusing my kindness for weakness. So I've learned that I got to protect this heart right here. Okay? Mind is very smart, but the heart I got to protect. Because there's a lot of people that want to hurt this heart. Because they're operators. They're opportunists. They just count their success based on if they have a few dollars more than you. That's how they count their success. They don't care how they harm you physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. They don't care. And I never wish anything bad on anybody, but I said, gee, these people are rotten people. And I talked to other people, and I found that nobody else likes these people. So choose your recipients wisely. I know you might be saying, well, John, that's easy. I made a mistake 5-6 years ago. When things were a little challenging getting into space and they were already starting to, bust my balls a little bit, I should have said at that moment, I'm out. But I think I was afraid. I didn't know where I'd go. Again, I didn't have a space. But maybe I should have done that back then, So you do live and learn. And I know that this has taught me how not to be a landlord, how not to operate, how not to run an empire. That's what it's taught me. It's taught me the importance of being ethical, which I always do. But it's taught me the value of being ethical while people are watching and when people aren't watching. And when I kid you not and tell you that literally, if I told you, because I'm probably sure you want to know, countdown to leaving, I'm just going to say 12 noon on February, which I believe on Monday, if I have the date correct, it's actually going to be February, what is that going to be? February 12th. February 12th. And you might say to me, John, this sounds crazy, right? But I think the biggest thing I want to tell you is that you don't want to get upset about it. You don't want to get upset about it. And right now we're at 5 days, 12 hours, 25 minutes. And, well, the seconds keep changing. I think people change when they get money. It's not everybody. But some people just think they have license to be the biggest pompous jerk. And I think that's the biggest thing I've learned. Is that some people that have done very well, they think they're so entitled. They think they can just do whatever they want to do to you. And that's wrong, ladies and gentlemen. So if you want to help others, you got to make sure you know your why, which I said. You got to know your why. You got to choose your recipients wisely. Don't just help everybody just because they got their hand out. Like there was a lady, I'm not going to mention her name. I was in another charity that I belong to. And the lady said to me, oh, well, John, you're very good at that stuff. And then one of my companies does graphic and design. She's like, oh, I'm sure you could probably help us out with that. So maybe you can get started on it and let us know. And all I did was go back to them a couple of times because first time I asked to have a meeting with their office and they were too busy. Asked them again after 6 months, even sponsored one of their charities, still too busy. Third time they came up and saying, hey, John, we need you to. I said, great. I said, I'll be happy to do that. Let's schedule a meeting to meet first and see how we might be able to do business with you. And then we'll talk about doing the charity event. Do you know what happened? They stopped asking me about the charity event. See, people will abuse you to your core. I'm sorry. They just will. And when I say you got to choose your recipients wisely, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. You choose recipients that are based on integrity, that are based on trust, those that would want to help you can make a major difference in your life. Lastly, ladies and gentlemen, communicate with empathy. Understanding the word understand is not always appropriate to use. Let's say, for example, I'll give an example. Maybe a brother of someone passed away. Maybe the younger brother is maybe 14. His older brother was 24 and he passed away. Could be a car accident, whatever it is. And you right away, because you've had people that passed away in your family, like your grandparents and things like that, you should never go up and say, gee, well, I know what it's like. I lost my mom, I lost my dad, or I lost my grandmother. No, you don't. So unless I've had a brother pass away, I shouldn't use that. I shouldn't imply that. I shouldn't go anything more than understanding. I understand that you had somebody pass away, and I am deeply sorry for you, and my condolences. And although I've had my grandparents pass away, and it's very emotional, especially my grandfather that passed away when I was only in third or fourth grade uh, on Thanksgiving night. Another one passed away when I was just out of college. That was hard for me. But I'm not going to tell you that I even can fathom what it's like to lose a brother. And doing that is going to show some respect. First thing they're going to probably say to you is, hey, John, I appreciate your kindness, your empathy. And you're right. It's hard. And although you might not have had a brother and had somebody pass away, losing parents or grandparents is pretty tough too. So I got to say it's a pretty close feeling. As far as it being exactly the same, I don't know. Maybe it's a little stronger, not much, but a little bit, because my brother I told everything to. My brother protected me. My brother always made sure I didn't get in trouble when I did something. He would cover for me. So the fact that I said that, I built some respect and rapport with the person. I said, well, I lost my my grandparents, and I know exactly what it's like to lose someone. Because no, you don't. No, you don't. I said something to the people there that run the company, and I said to her, I said, you don't know what it's like to go through and pack up. It's not easy. And all she did was say, oh, we know it's not easy. But she doesn't know what it's like. So remember, these hard noses, they hire people to do all their work. We packed ourselves. And I want to share something else. The people that came to my aid during this challenging time, which were a few employees and a few other people, I built a new spot for them in my heart, knowing that as I grow, I want to treat them even better because they were there for me when I had a challenge. So I think that's what this taught me, is that I've got to be a lot more selective of the people that I choose to not only work with, but the people that I let in my heart. Now, those are not your customers. Those are people that are in your community. Those are people you think are your friends. Those are people that say they want to help you and they want you to volunteer your time, but they're right there to screw you when you're not paying a donation or giving a charity thing. Who needs that? Like, who really needs that? So tonight, when I talk about how to help others, we have to help ourselves, right? We talked about that before. So know your why. That's really important. Choose your recipients wisely. If I would have done step 2, I wouldn't be in this center that I'm in right now. I would either probably be somewhere else, and probably still be happy there, or I might be getting ready to leave another year or two to now build my building. So, but you can't harp on what happened in the past. You have to pick up the pieces, and you've just got to go play with your Legos somewhere else, right? We've all had a situation where whether you have Capsule or you have Legos, or maybe it was somebody, you played cards. Like, we used to play like, cards, and you'd stack them and try to do like card castles, and somebody knocks it over, right? You get all angry. There's no point in that. Just take your cards somewhere else and play somewhere else. This happened a lot. Some friends of mine, they would play hopscotch. And sometimes people would get nasty when we're playing hopscotch. So they would just take their hopscotch game and they take it somewhere else. Even if it was around the corner, if it was another neighborhood, And they made their own hopscotch board, just with some chalk. So I think we have to like and love ourselves a lot. There's so many people out there with their hands. I had another situation today. Somebody said to me, gee, John, I don't know if I can get back to you on this date. And I was talking to them because I said, we're basically going to be out of business for a few months, one of my companies. And they said, oh, well, I'm getting ready to go skiing. Okay. And I don't begrudge them for going skiing. But the fact that they couldn't even understand, they couldn't even, forget empathizing, that's a whole other level. They couldn't even be compassionate. I said, really nobody from town purchased from me. Very few. She saw lots of people. She says, you're one of the only businesses. Baloney. That tells me that they don't care about you. And you got to know that the most important person is you. Others are important, don't get me wrong, but you got to take care of the you first. You have to. People say to me, oh, John, I want to talk to you about it. But then they're rushing to get in the car. They don't care. They don't want to, oh, I'll talk to you about it another time. They don't really want to talk about it. They just want to push you off. It's sad. But I learned a lot of valuable lessons. So we learned something valuable tonight. Know your why. Choose your recipients wisely. Communicate with empathy. I'm going to catch you guys, when? Tomorrow. Have yourself an amazing rest of your evening.